Brace yourself for another Mega Jolt on Nickelodeon's Megatoon Monday. Yogi and Boo Boo will be back tomorrow, right here on...
Oh, Natasha, sometimes I get so mad.
But in the paper, it must be true.
Last time, you remember, our heroes were creeping up on a strange-looking spaceship when they came upon the leader of those monstrous mechanical mice.
Bullwinkle, a big cheese!
I wish you wouldn't say those things so close together.
Coward that he was, the big cheese turned and ran with our heroes right after him. It was then that a strange-looking weapon emerged from the spaceship, aimed and fired.
They got me, Rock!
No, Bullwinkle.
They got you?
No.
Him?
Him.
Sure enough, it appeared that the big cheese had been stopped cold by the mysterious ray.
He makes a nice-looking statue, don't he?
Yeah, sort of a V-mouse to Milo.
Hey, Bullwinkle, he's been scrooched.
Been what?
Scrooched.
Oh, fiddle faddle, Rock. Only moon men can scrooge people.
Sure, and just where do we find Moon Man?
On the moon.
Or?
Or in spaceships, or... Yeah, funny how that works out.
Hey, Moon Man, come on out.
We friend of Moon Man. We dig 'em moon cats. We talk straight, you bet 'em.
Why the Indian chatter, Bullwinkle?
Bullwinkle, I think that voice belongs to our old buddy Cloyd, the Moon Man.
And don't forget me.
And that's his pal, Gidney.
Well, I'll be jiggered. Come on out, you fellas.
We are out, Bullwinkle. See?
Which one are you?
I'm Cloyd. See?
Of course. I remember you by the mustache.
But I don't have a mustache.
That's what I remember.
And this is Gidney.
Sure, I'd know those eyeballs anywhere.
But what are you doing down here?
We just brought another shipment of moon mice, Rocky.
Gee, Bullwinkle, they're the ones behind this whole sinister plot.
So Rocky told the two moon men of the terrible damage being done by the monstrous mechanical moon mice as they chewed up acres of TV antennas.
Oh, dear, that's dreadful, Rocky. We had no idea they were going to be used this way. Well, let's go talk to the big cheese, Gidney. Don't you remember, Cloyd? You scrooched him.
Yeah, he's stiffer than a boiled shirt.
Still? No, you're so quick on the trigger, Cloyd. Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to wait for him to get unscrewed.
And our friends began their vigil, little realizing that they were waiting in front of a cardboard cutout, and the big cheese,
Or as we know him, Boris Bedinov.
was even now readying his mechanical monsters for another attack.
They're still waiting, Natasha?
Yes, Boris. Darling, do you always carry cardboard cutout with you?
Doesn't everybody?
What city do we black out tonight, darling?
Let's pick one scientifically.
And Boris seized a dart, closed his eyes, and tossed it at the wall map.
And what is the name of our honor city?
Podunk Junction, darling.
Okay, I'll tell the truth. Now hear this, you rats. This is Big Cheese squeaking. Target for tonight is Podunk Junction. Got it? Get it.
And in a moment, before the startled eyes of our friends, flowed a veritable stream of monstrous mechanical metal-munching moon mice.
They're on the loose again, Bullwinkle.
And so's the big cheese, Rocky. Look at this. We've been tricked.
Well, now what?
We gotta stop those metal-munching mice is what?
But how?
Come on, we'll take the shortcut and head them off.
Where do we head him off? Oh, Gidney, where does anybody head anybody off?
At the pass.
Sure enough, a few moments later, our friends were bracing themselves in the middle of the pass, waiting for the onrushing horde of 6-foot moon mice.
We gotta fight him to the end, Bullwinkle.
Yeah, and I got news for you, Rocky.
What's that?
This is the end.
True. But what's next time for the Rat Pack attacks or share up, you mouse?
Once upon a time, there was a miller's daughter named Gladys who would spin straw all day long and sit up nights thinking of how she would like to be famous. Night after night, she would think of all the things she wanted to be. But as for figuring out a way to be them, Gladys was at a loss.
Oh, to be famous.
Just then, a strange little man appeared before her.
Little lady, I can make you famous overnight.
Who are you?
I am what is known as a PR man.
PR man?
Public relations, my dear. Public relations. It is my business to glamorize the unglamorous. In my hands, the pedestrian becomes splendorous, the prosaic resplendent. What do you do, baby?
Oh, I spin straw.
That's it. You spin straw.
So?
Don't interrupt. It's coming.
What?
The idea, the spark. I got it. You spin straw into gold.
Yeah, but I can't spin
Doesn't
straw.
matter. I'll do the thinking. Now I'll just contact the trades.
But wait.
Just leave it to me, please.
And so it happened that overnight, Gladys did become famous. Of course, nobody had ever seen the gold, but through the PR man's magic, and since it had appeared in all the papers, the people believed it. All of them. Everyone. Even the king.
Gold out of straw? Bring that girl here!
And so Gladys appeared before the king.
I understand you spin.
Not only do I spin, but I am the best spinner in your entire kingdom. I am so good.
That you spin straw into gold, right? Well, I'm going to put you into a room full of my very best straw and have you spin me a room full of your very best gold.
But...
Of course, if you can't, you'll be locked forever in my darkest dungeon.
Oh.
Not so fast, king boy. Release that girl. My client is not giving gold away, you know. However, she will spin for you one room full of gold on one condition. That if she does, she automatically becomes your wife and therefore the queen.
Well... give me the pen already. I'll sign.
Gladys signed too. And the king left her to her task.
Well, now what?
Have I ever let you down, baby? Watch.
And true to his word, the little man spun a room full of gold.
Why, that's amazing.
I know. Now look, dear, our business ends right here. You are now rich and famous, so until your firstborn comes into the world, I bid you adieu.
My firstborn?
Just read the contract, my dear, the fine print right there.
So, Gladys read the fine print, and there it said in black and white that her firstborn child must go to the little man. Well, about a year afterwards, a beautiful child was born to the king and queen.
Hello again. I have come for the child, according to the contract.
What the little man didn't know was that in reading the fine print, Gladys had found the loophole.
I have found the loophole.
Oh, no, not the loophole.
Yes, quote, if the party of the first part, that's me, within 3 days discovers the name of the party of the second part, that's you, the party of the first part shall keep the party of the third part, that's him.
But that may not be as easy as you think. Go ahead, lay a name on me.
So Gladys laid a name on him.
Tom,
It was the wrong one.
Harry, Alfred, Dick, Bill, Lowry, Sam,
She spent all that day thinking of all the names she could, but none of them were right.
Oscar,
No,
Edward, Roger, Leon, Charlie, Theodore,
And the second day went as did the first, and as it ended,
Louis.
like,
Gladys was in despair.
Oh,
Just then there was a knock,
come in.
and the door swung open to reveal a very round man dressed as a town crier.
Like, you don't know me, ma'am, but I've got to hip you to some news. Like the other day, I'm walking through this cool forest when, ma'am, what do I see but this little cat doing this Weirdsville routine? Like he's going...
Skoo-skoo-ba-doo, oobop-she-bam. I am the Rumpelstiltskin man. The king's got his gold, the queen's got her fame, and their baby will have my Rumpelstiltskin name.
Now, isn't that just too cuckoo?
Yeah, cuckoo.
So the next day, when the little man appeared again, the queen said,
Skoo-skoo-ba-doo, oobop-she-bam. You are the Rumpelstiltskin man, right?
Right. Oh, man, I really goofed.
and so Gladys and the king lived happily ever after, and Rumpelstiltskin was never seen in the kingdom again. There were several reports concerning a young girl who could make diamonds out of turnips. But of course that was in another kingdom, and you can't believe everything you read in the papers.
last time you remember, that foul fiend, Boris Badenov, had unleashed another mechanical mouse attack on an American town.
And what is our honor city, Natasha?
Podunk Junction, darling.
Okay, you rats, seek 'em.
But as the metal-munching moon mice started off on their grisly journey, they were spotted by Rocky and Bullwinkle and the two moon men, Gidney and Cloyd.
We didn't know our moon mice would be used this way, Rocky. No, cross my hearts.
Hearts? You got more than one?
On the moon, we always carry a spare heart.
Must be nice come Valentine's Day.
Never mind that. We gotta head 'em off.
Of course, there was only one place to head them off.
At the pass!
And so a short time later, our heroes stood in the middle of the narrow pass awaiting the onrushing horde of metal monsters.
Listen to that, Bullwinkle.
Oh, the patter of tiny feet.
They'll be on us in a minute. Remember, they shall not pass.
Us.
Yeah, us.
Nearer and nearer drew the mice, but at the last minute, something odd happened.
Bullwinkle, they're taking another road.
They're past us already.
Doggone, never happens like this in the cowboy pictures.
Sure enough, the mice had taken the express highway instead of the pass, and in a little while descended on the little town of Podunk Junction unopposed. Quickly, they began their vicious work of devouring all the TV antennas in town. Program after program went off the air. The boxing matches stopped.
There's a right and a left, and the champion is down. And it's 6, 7, 8.
No, you mustn't go. Come back.
The late evening variety shows were affected.
And now, here's the star of our show.
What happened, Humbert?
I guess he walked out again.
In a remarkably short time, the entire city of Podunk Junction was without television of any kind. Lights began to flash on in darkened living rooms. People could actually see each other, some for the first time in months.
Why, Humbert, you've grown a mustache.
Don't you know me, Dad? I'm Orville.
Orville, how you've grown, son.
Back at the pass, our friends, of course, were feeling sad indeed.
Let's face it, fellas, we failed miserably.
Yeah, and that's the worst way.
How are we ever going to get rid of those mice?
As long as the big cheese controls them, we haven't got a chance.
We could sure use one of them Pied Piper fellas.
Bullwinkle, that's it.
I did it again, huh?
You sure did. We'll advertise for a Pied Piper to get rid of the moon mice.
The Pied Piper? That's silly. Kind of far-fetched, isn't it, Rocky?
Looky here. If we can believe in moon mice, you can believe in Pied Pikers.
I guess you're right.
And so a short time later, a remarkable ad appeared in the Frostbite Falls Picayune Ledger.
Wanted, Pied Piper to get rid of moon mice.
Make big money.
Whistle while you work. I still think it's nonsense, Rocky. We'll never get a Pied Piper.
Not even offering a great big reward?
Allow me to introduce myself. Rough-on Rats Chase him off at your service.
Rough-on Rats chase them off.
Ah, you heard of me.
Are you a real piper?
Am I a real piper? Observe.
And Burroughs quickly drew out a pipe and blew several smoke rings.
Well, I guess he's a genuine piper, all right.
Okay, Mr. Chase-em-off. We'll pay you $1 for every mechanical metal-munching moon mouse you pipe away from here.
Just leave it to me, kiddo. Oh, Boris, baby, your plan is paying off. There's millions in it, millions.
Oh, dear. Is Rocky going to make a millionaire out of his worst enemy? We'll find out next time in Bucks for Boris or Rocky Pays the Piper.
Don't go away. Next Megatoon Monday, we'll be right back.
Hey, kids, there's only 5 more days till you sleep. I can hardly wait. Get your butt on the big orange couch and sleep.
First, we took off the wheels. Now we've given them wings.
Rev it up, Hot Wheels!
Jet streaks, blasting through the sky where no Hot Wheels have gone before. Jet streaks, smashing the speed barrier, going the distance. And you've got the power with the Streaks target tower you put together. Jet Streaks, the future of fast. Jet Streaks comes with jet and launcher. Target tower sold separately. New from Hot Wheels.
It's Giggle Wiggle. Make noise.
Giggle Wiggle.
And Giggle Wiggle Wiggles. Yes, make noise.
Giggle Wiggle, Giggle Wiggle.
And Giggle Wiggle Wiggles.
Giggle Wiggle, Giggle Wiggle. I made him move. Giggle Wiggle. When you shout and giggle, he starts to wiggle.
Get all your marbles into Giggle Wiggle's hands first, and you win.
Giggle, wiggle, giggle, wiggle. When you giggle and shout, he wiggles about. Giggle, wiggle. I win.
Giggle Wiggle.
Giggle, wiggle, giggle, wiggle.
You're so noisy.
Hey, Playfans, can I come to the game?
Game? I almost forgot. Thanks. But I wanted more Kellogg's Double Dip Crunch. Oh well, there's always tomorrow. Tomorrow? Wait 24 hours for more of that doubly nutty, frosted, six-sided sweetness? No way, I can't wait.
It's amazing what people will do for one more irresistible bite of that doubly sweet, doubly frosted taste. Kellogg's Double Dip Crunch, part of this complete breakfast that's too good to go without.
Sweet.
You're watching Nickelodeon. And now, back to Megatoon Monday.
And now, here to tell you everything about anything is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, knowledge thirsties. Today's subject is how to sell vacuum cleaners and clean up. Now, the two prime requisites in selling vacuums are the customer and the customee. The customer, or victim, usually lives in a house like this one. The customee, or salesman, has to get in the house. Rule number 1, always get your foot in the customer's door. Good morning, customer. Would you be interested in such door, huh? Rule number 2, find a door one can put one's foot in. Good morning, customer. Mind if I put my foot in your... Oh! 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 Rule number 3, forget rule number 1. At this point, also forget about getting in the door and find another way of getting in, such as a window. Preferably a open window.
Look at mess you made.
Oh, sure, customer. I shall rectify that in a jiffy.
Hey, what you doing?
It's an extra feature. It not only cleans up, it dirties up. Wait a second, I shall put it in reverse and suck up everything in sight.
Oh, you wasn't kidding. You picked up the whole room. Congratulations. You begged the customer.
Not to mention the customee.
Peabody here. Today, Sherman and I are going back to the year 64 A.D. to visit with one of history's most renowned violinists.
Jack Benny?
No, that would be 39 A.D., Sherman. Our illustrious fiddler was none other than the Emperor of Rome, Nero. We set the Wayback Controls, and before you could say Quo Vadis, we were standing on the steps of Nero's palace.
I smell smoke, Mr. Peabody.
Oh, that is a bad sign, Sherman, because according to history books, Nero is responsible for setting fire to Rome.
Idiots, what do you think you're doing?
We just put the fire out, Emperor.
You mean you just put the barbecue out? What's more, you've made my steak soggy. Out, out, get out!
We thought it was a fire, Mr. Nero.
Well, it wasn't. I can't stand fires, yet everyone blames them on me. Oh, dear, there's another one.
In the far corner, the Emperor's throne was raging out of control.
Quick! You get some water and I'll get my violin.
Sherman and I soon had the fire under control. As for Nero, do you always do that?
Do what?
Fiddle during a fire.
Oh, yes, that's quite a quirk with me. As soon as I smell smoke, I have to play. Would you like to hear Laura?
What does it all mean, Mr. Peabody?
Well, there has to be a motive behind these fires, Sherman. Now, who would stand to profit by them?
Goodwill?
No, I'd say Nero's violin teacher. As long as there are fires, Nero fiddles. And as long as he fiddles, he takes lessons, or should. We left the palace and headed for the only music teacher in town, a certain Oedipus Rex.
Is that the violin you're making for Nero, boss?
It is. And this one will guarantee a big fire.
How so?
You see the bow? Well, actually, it's a large match. All Nero has to do is strike it on the strings, and there'll be a hot time in the old town tonight. Now, get out of sight. Here come two customers.
Mr. Oedipus Rex?
You wish the boy to take violin lessons?
No, sir. We came here to advise you to stop playing with fire.
Oh, then you know.
Everything. Unless you leave Rome and promise to give up arson, we'll turn you over to Nero.
I was about to do just that. In fact, behind this door are my overnight bags. I'm leaving Rome on the next train.
Of course, we didn't believe him and decided to look in the back room. There were no overnight bags.
True, but you'll never get out to tell anyone.
It was a trap.
Not only for us, for Oddpus Rex's henchmen as well.
He told me to duck out of sight, so I ducked in here. When that big fire starts, we'll be caught.
He told us of the diabolical violin, and I knew we had to return to the palace immediately. Here, play this fiddle, Sherman.
But I can't play, Mr. Peabody.
I know that. It was a fearful 5 minutes we spent chained to Sherman's concert, but it brought results. The citizens in the neighborhood also resented Sherman's music.
Get out of here!
Arriving at the palace, we discovered that Nero was about to give a concert.
For my first number, I should like to play a Jerry Mulligan arrangement.
If he strikes that bow, the palace will go up in flames.
I grabbed a pull cord on the curtain and flew across the stage. En route, I plucked the match bow from the unsuspecting soloist.
Good work, Mr. Peabody.
It was good, but unfortunately, Oddpus Rex was just as air-minded as I. He, too, flew across the stage, but he replaced the match bow, and before I could make a return flight, Nero had burst into song, and the fiddle burst into flame, and we had a disaster in the making.
I'm afraid it's curtains, Mr. Peabody.
Well, that gave me an idea. I examined the stage curtains, and there was the word I was looking for, asbestos. I merely pulled the knot, and the curtain descended on Nero's performance. As for Oddpus Rex, this didn't stop him. He dashed about the building, giving everyone he saw a hot foot. Luckily, the last person he gave a hot foot to was the chief of police.
Thank you, Citizen Peabody, for saving the palace. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have to start a barbecue in the middle of the city. And, oh, this one is going to be big, big, big.
Realizing that Rome was no place to be in at this moment, we decided to embark for home, but not before we took a unique little violin as a memento of our visit.
That's a funny-looking violin.
Funny-looking, but priceless. This was made by a man named Strada. As you can see, he made various types of instruments.
Is that why they call it a Stradivarius, Mr. Peabody?
That's why, Sherman.
Well, in a last-ditch effort to stop the monstrous mechanical metal-munching moon mice, our heroes put an ad in the paper.
Wanted, high-class Pied Piper to get rid of monstrous mechanical metal-munching moon mice.
Name your own price.
The ad got results sooner than they expected.
Rofan Rats, chase him off at your service.
The piper looked a lot like Boris Badenov, but as usual, our trusting friends failed to suspect a thing.
Please, the world needs trusting people.
It does?
Otherwise, who could those villains cheat?
Boris blew a few smoke rings to prove he was a real piper, but Gidney the Moon Man still wanted to know.
How good are you at getting rid of rats?
Please, read motto.
Rats a specialty. It takes one to know one.
Okay, Mr. Chase-em-off, we'll give you $1 for every moon mouse you pipe away from here.
It's a deal, little chum.
And Boris dashed off to his secret headquarters where a whole regiment of the metal-munching monsters stood ready to go.
This is the day.
What day is that, darling?
Payday.
So in just a little while, our heroes were surprised and pleased to see Boris apparently piping away a whole line of moon mice.
Boy, he does good work.
Yeah, and here he comes again already.
Sure enough, Boris led another line of moon mice by our heroes, and a few moments later, still another.
You know, Bullwinkle, those mice are all beginning to look alike.
Well, if you've seen one moon mouse, you've seen them all.
But Rocky had guessed better than he knew, for Boris was simply leading his moon mice in a large circle and taking the same ones back again and again. At the end of the day, Rocky added up the Pied Piper's bill.
Gee, we owe you close to $6,000.
That's a nice number to be close to.
But it's worth it if it means the end of the moon mice.
Well, you know me, all work guaranteed.
Flushed with success, our heroes erected a TV antenna on the roof to the cheers of the populace.
Yay!
Oh,
I thought you said your work was guaranteed.
but I didn't say positively.
Gee, there must be more of those moon mice than I thought.
How many did we bring down, Gidney? About 100,000.
100,000?
Let's see, at $1 apiece.
That's almost $1,000.
It's $100,000, Bullwinkle.
Well, I was close.
Gee, we don't have that much money.
I don't even think there is that much money.
Take it or leave it, buddy.
Guess we gotta leave it.
Don't worry, you'll be back.
Why'd you fellas bring all these mice down here for anyways?
It wasn't our idea, Bullwinkle. No. Mr. Big said they were going to be used as messengers.
Well, Rock, he knows about...
Mr. Big!
You were interrupting, Rock.
But you didn't hear what...
Mr. Big!
You know him?
Know him?
And our heroes told the Moon Men of their terrible experiences with the sinister, shadowy figure of Boris's boss, Mr. Big, who turned out to be not so big after all. The last they'd seen of him was when he tried to steal a chunk of the anti-gravity metal, obsidian, and fell upward into space.
I know, Rocky. He made a dead center hit on a moon crater, and right away he started to take over.
You want us to take you to our leader?
Don't be silly, boys. I am your leader. Today, Mr. Big is really big.
Well, I guess that means we're whipped.
How come that, Rock?
Well, how can we fight somebody who's clear up on the moon?
And as our friends gazed skyward, the face of the man in the moon seemed to take on the sinister features of that criminal mastermind, Mr. Big. Don't miss our next episode, Fright Flight, or A Rocky to the Moon.
Everybody's staying tuned for more Bullwinkle.
They want to see flop-headed little me?
Yep, the flop-headed Minnesotan is #1 among the Loyal Order of the Moose, along with the aerodynamic squirrel. So stay tuned. More Mega Mooserama Mondays coming up only on Nick.
Put some into your Saturday night.
At the Roundhouse!
The non-stop hip-hop place to snick. Roundhouse Saturday nights on Snick.
Last year, 50% of all aluminum cans were recycled. Millions of new trees were planted. The air we breathed was cleaner. And the total trash produced in the U.S. dropped. Many of you discovered how to make a difference by watching environmental specials on cable. We're glad you joined us. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
On Austin Cablevision.
Remember these sounds.
Cool. I had a great time. Oh!
Those were memorable times, and the music was too. That's why cable gives you the most variety of sound choices across 5 channels. Music to the ears, 24 hours a day.
On Austin Cablevision.
Kellogg's Pop-Tarts are popping up, up, up. So cool, they're hot, so hot. The taste of real fruit, real hot, 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 hot. They taste so cool. They're hot, so hot. They're cool.
Now, if you want all the hot taste of chocolate and marshmallow s'mores, don't forget your toaster. New Kellogg's S'mores Pop-Tarts.
You think you can knock out these bricks? No problem. Without making the wall fall? Let's rock and roll. Hammer, hammer knocks out those bricks. But you gotta be careful, you gotta be slick. Don't let the wall fall, that's what it's about. Knockout, it'll knock you out. Look out below. You're out.
It's knockout. Knock out the bricks with the rammer hammer. Stack them up, but don't let the wall fall.
Don't let the wall fall, that's what it's about. Right. Knockout, it'll knock you out. Yeah. Maybe next time, dudes. Knockout, it'll knock you out.
Talk, it's that talking about Girl Talk. So last time you were playing Girl Talk, the game with Truth or Dare, and it was so hilarious. Julie had told she'd ever kissed a boy. We were laughing like crazy. And Lisa, she was next to me, she had to eat a pickled sandwich. Yeah. So me and Jenna had to do a 3-legged race. We went nuts. In the end, I won and got to pick fantasy cards. I couldn't.
Girl Talk, the game of Truth or Dare you can't stop talking about. From the Girl Talk line of games and books.
I read the card. It said the next person who calls will know your future husband.
2 Echo 10, respond to Canyon Fork. Possible UFO sighting.
10-4. This is 2 Echo 10. There's definitely something going on out there.
L.A. Lights by L.A. Gear.
Oh boy, they're never going to believe this one.
The shoes to be seen in.